Before hospitals, often doctors would use their residence for respite. There were many babies born here and a lot of people died. There's 17 interments in the cemetery, which means at least 17 people have died in the house, probably many more.
When they accepted the job to come here, he called me and said, please do not tell my guys your house is haunted. He never came back.
David's in trouble.
I can't do this.
There's something about the axe house.
Like, it's freaking me out.
Whoa.
And we're standing there talking, and he just starts screaming, get out of that, what are you doing in here? Get out of the house, get out of the house. And he runs out of the house, and he runs to his car. He goes, you didn't see him? And I said, see who?
The Eastern Shore has proven it has no shortage of incredible hauntings to uncover, and this investigation is no different. Tonight, David and I will be investigating the Castle Hall Mansion, a manor that has stood the test of time in Greensboro, Maryland for over 240 years. Thomas Hardcastle, the architect behind Castle Hall, came from a prominent family deeply involved in local and state matters. He wanted to construct a residence that matched his esteemed social status. Castle Hall stands as a substantial, impeccably crafted brick mansion, boasting not only an imposing size, but also exquisite detailing. Notable features such as the decorative variations in the brickwork, masonry lintels adorning the first floor windows, and the elegant Chippendale porch on the primary facade exude a palpable sense of sophistication. The reason for the meticulous design of Castle Hall's front facade may be attributed to Thomas Hardcastle's expertise as a master builder. He acquired a substantial amount of land upon his father's passing, but Castle Hall itself emerged on the 12.5 acres he personally purchased between 1778 and 1783. In 1791, he formally surveyed this property and christened it Golden Bottom, solidifying his status as one of Maryland's foremost landowners in the mid-1780s. The primary structure is a telescope house comprising 3 distinct segments, aptly named due to their incremental size reduction as construction progressed. The largest of these sections is the original 2.5-story portion, positioned at the northeast end. The smallest segment is a unique amalgamation of wood framing and brick, deviating from the predominantly brick composition of the rest of the edifice, and it was constructed in 1781. Thomas Hardcastle actively engaged in local affairs during the Revolutionary era and the ensuing decades. His involvement included membership in the Caroline Committee of Safety during the Revolution, an entity tasked with recruiting troops in the county. In 1776, he assumed the role of quartermaster for the West Battalion of Caroline County's troops. His contributions extended to serving as a justice of the county court and as a trustee responsible for establishing an almshouse in 1788. Thomas Hardcastle and his wife Henrietta were also the parents of at least 16 children, and when Thomas passed away September 29, 1808 at the age of 72, his manor would continue to stay within the Hardcastle family for several generations, until a new owner by the name of J. Spencer Lapham would purchase the home and use part of it for his doctor's office in the 1920s. After J. Spencer Lapham passed away in 1951, the home sat abandoned and left in total disrepair until Bob and Lisa Moser would purchase the old manor in 2017. The property had the distinction of being listed on the National Historic Registry, but it also carried with it tales of being haunted.
Let's go here first. This is the parlor. We don't have any concrete documentation, but that's what they would have called a funeral door or a death door. And it makes perfect sense if you think about it when the cemetery is like right out there. So there's 17 interments in the cemetery, which means at least 17 people have died in the house. Probably many more. The grandson of the builder was Alexander Hardcastle, and he was a physician, and he would actually treat people. Back in the day before there were hospitals, often doctors would like use their, residence for respite and that sort of thing. So there were many babies born here, and a lot of people died.
So there was probably like
Yeah.
quite a few like wakes or so forth.
Are there headstones still in the grave?
Yes.
Yeah, the builder and his wife are.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tom.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thomas and Henrietta.
So I was here I'd come here every day and work, every day. And I was up on the third floor working. Like once we came inside, that's where we went, to the third floor, and we gutted it and insulated it and drywalled it. And again, that's the only place that we actually did that work.
And he totally does not believe in ghosts at all.
No. So I would be here late. Like I'd be here after midnight working and stuff like that. I'll be honest with you, I was more creeped out with the fact that somebody could walk in the house and come upstairs and I wouldn't know about it. I go home, get a shower and all that stuff. And like I said, we're usually putting like 16-hour days in. Go to bed, and like I'm sound asleep, and I like just open my eyes, and there's a little girl standing there with long black hair, and she's just staring at me. Like I could literally reach over, like she was probably about as far away as Lisa is here. And I just stared at her. And I sat up and I said, "Honey, do you need something?" And she just stared at me, and I said, "You need to go home now." And she left. The other story that was really freaky, it wasn't freaky, well, it freaked me out because I thought there was somebody in the house. So we call this termite company. All the windows are boarded up and everything, and the only way you could come in is through the room you guys are set up in the keeping room. So we would have a piece of plywood and we'd unscrew it every day and we'd come in and do our stuff. And he pulled up, I introduced myself, we talked a little bit, and we walked into the house because even to go into the basement, we would come in that door and then turn around and go down the basement steps. He came in and we're standing there talking, and he just starts screaming, "Get out of the house, get out of that, what are you doing in here? Get out of the house, get out of the house." And he runs out of the house and he runs to his car and gets in his car. And I'm like, "Dude, what's going on?" Like following, I'm like, what's going on? He goes, "You didn't see him?" And I said, "See who?" "The guy who walked across in front of the door." And I said, "I didn't see anybody." He's in his car, he won't get out of his car, and I'm by myself, and I'm like, and I got a flashlight, and I'm like, okay, well, I got to investigate. And I went through this whole house, and there's absolutely nothing.
There was no colonial night shirt man.
When they accepted the job to come here, he called me and said, "Please do not tell my guys your house is haunted."
He never came back.
He never came back. Then we had a paranormal group here that brought a medium, and he was like saying like, there's an angry man up in the step-down bedroom, like between the bourbon room and the step-down bedroom. He's very angry. He's just pacing back and forth. He's very angry, very angry. He knew about the fire on the end of the building.
Nobody knew about
Nobody,
the fire.
we've never told anybody
We
about
never
the fire.
talked.
One of the owners, I don't want to say who they were, but one of the owners had said to me when they were growing up here and stuff, that there was a shadow man that was up in that step-down bedroom too, who used to pace back and forth.
This is the only experience I personally have ever had, other than like just maybe feeling the hair on the back of my neck, like that sort of thing. We always leave the TV on for the dogs.
When we're not home.
And I'm
Right.
like carrying groceries in, and I clearly heard like two women talking, like as if it were just my daughters, like upstairs, like from that step down bedroom, and I could just hear it, and it was muffled. I couldn't understand what they were saying. It only lasted a couple seconds, and then I was like, "Oh, it's the TV." I'm like, "It's a TV. I left the TV on for the dogs," and I didn't think anything else of it. And then like 10 minutes later, after we're done unpacking groceries, walk in here and the TV's not on. But I wasn't scared. It didn't like make me feel uncomfortable or anything. It just felt like a family member up there talking.
Like when she told me, I was like, and I'm like, oh great, now I gotta walk through the whole house now.
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
Just walked through the whole house and checked all the closets and everything like.
When we visited Castle Hall for the first time about 3 months prior to this investigation, we didn't really get a whole lot. The initial walkthrough was very active. It was very charged. You could feel all the hair on your body stand up the minute you walked into the house. Throughout much of the tour and the history on the place, we We're hearing and seeing all kinds of stuff, but the minute that equipment came out and we tried to actually start communicating with them, we got almost total silence for most of the night. It didn't take away from the claims that the new owners made. I definitely could tell that there was something there. It just wasn't very willing to come out and talk to us the first time we were there. This second visit was completely different. Not only was it charged the minute that we walked in, but it stayed that way all night. We were hearing, seeing, and feeling so much more this second visit. I don't know if whoever is there got acquainted with us and just felt more willing to come out and talk to us tonight, but this place was an entirely different experience this trip.
This place means a lot to me. I grew up down the road from it. I still currently live right down the road from it. Just looking out in the field when driving by, it just is so beautiful. And at a young age, I used to actually go into Castle Hall Mansion when it was still abandoned. As a young kid, it's hard to see through all the disrepair. I always dreamed of owning it. I would walk through the house, through each room, and pretend I was owning it and redoing it myself. There was also a paranormal side of it. When going through the house, you would have these different energy boosts. You would hear and see things from going from door frame to door frame, and you would hear knocks and thuds throughout the house from the first floor to the top, even in the basement, and even outside. One day when driving home, I just decided to stop up there. I had saw someone out there working on the house, and that's when I first met Bob. Really awesome guy, really sweet, and he actually invited me in to see some of the work that he had done in the house. And going from seeing it in such poor shape that it was before to seeing it now completely restored, Bob just seems to be doing such an amazing job, and Lisa and them two are really amazing for letting us to come back and investigate this property.
Came here a few months ago and tried to make contact with whoever was here, but you seemed a little reluctant. Which is understandable. We're new people here. You've never met us. We have all these strange lights and equipment laid out all around your house. I can see why you'd be a little afraid. Tonight seems different, though. You seem much more eager to come out and talk. Did something change? You can touch one of these lights or make a noise as a way to say yes. Would you like to come out and talk to us? Could you please touch one of these lights, if you would? Oh, the EI got a hit, yeah. Spiked up pretty high. Yeah. Do you like that we came back?
Yeah, it was loud as shit. Is that kind of what you heard of that? Yeah. That was loud.
If you made that noise just now, could you do it again to let us know that it was you?
Earlier we were doing some work on the computer, and it seemed like we were getting a lot of people looking in through the doorways. Are you just curious about what we're doing? Thank you if that was you.
Is there a particular part of the house that you like the most? Do you like upstairs more? If you're upstairs, can you make a noise up there?
I felt like I just saw someone. It looked like it came out of the dining room.
Mm-hmm.
And then just, I can't see past as well, but it looked like I saw like head and shoulders
Yeah.
come out of there.
If you're in that room, can you come in here and come talk to us for a little bit? We just want to ask you some questions and learn about this place. We're not here to harm you or take anything from you.
Head and shoulders
Yeah.
come out of there. Head and shoulders
Yeah.
come out of there.
I promise they're just a way for us to talk to each other, that's all. If you'd like to talk to us and let us know that you're here, you can touch one of them and they'll light up, and some even make noise. Are any of the Hardcastles still here? If so, we'd like to speak to them tonight.
So another shadow.
Yeah,
It looked like it was leaving from in here, going out that door.
that's what I kept seeing when we were initially setting up in here. Kept seeing like the gray or white shadow just like going back and forth.
Gray.
Mm-hmm.
If that was you leaving the room, don't be afraid. You can come in here. You can sit over there if you want. Sit next to that red light. It'll go off. Let us know you're here. We come with the best intentions.
Did you hear that knock? That like it was like a knuckle.
No, I didn't hear
You
that. I
didn't
heard
hear
you kind of
that?
just stomach out there.
Oh man.
Let us know you're here. Let us know you're here.
Whoa. Okay, so right when that clock,
That one,
Dung.
and that went off.
that went off and that went off.
Yeah.
All three of that just happened at the exact same time.
Yeah, I think I couldn't tell what number it got up to, but
I don't know if that was just coincidence, but if it's not, then where's that noise been coming from? Because we've been hearing that all night.
right,
That single like knock, it almost sounds like against ceramic or something.
right. What did you hear that?
Movement.
Right,
That single like knock, it almost sounds like against ceramic or something.
right. What did you hear that?
Like movement.
Yeah.
Did you knock on that that bell or whatever that noise was? Was that you?
Okay, sorry.
Right as we heard that noise, both of these devices went off at the exact same time. We're gonna get moving on now. To whoever we were speaking with, thank you for your time. I hope you continue to talk to us throughout the night. For most of the time that we spent in the living room, you could just hear so much commotion going on in the room above us upstairs. It sounded like somebody was pacing back and forth. Based on what Bob told us in his interviews and what the psychic medium told them when they visited, there's an angry man that paces in that room, just above the living room. If those claims are true, it would make sense why we kept hearing the walking back and forth upstairs. Even though we were getting pretty good responses downstairs, I felt like we should move up and see what all the commotion upstairs is about.
Well, we heard a lot of noise up here when we were downstairs in the living room. Thought maybe we'd come up here and try to talk to whoever's up here. We were told last time that there's a angry man that likes to pace back and forth in this hallway here. Is that all the walking and commotion that we were hearing? Could you touch one of the lights that we've set out for you? If you're still up here with us, just to let us know that you're here.
Just like when we had it downstairs, it won't hurt you at all. Just helps us communicate a little bit better.
Do you like the idea of people coming here to talk to you? Just for clarification at any point in time, please feel free to touch any one of the lights we've laid out for you as a way to say yes to us, or just leave them alone for no, okay?
The first word that we had come through this box here was castle. Normally it does spit out a few words in the beginning, but just curious, are any of the Hardcastles here or anyone else who might have been, involved with this property?
Did you hear that? Yeah.
I thought I heard something after it too. It's like, yeah, something.
Keep hearing a woman's voice. Is Mrs. Hardcastle here? Have you been keeping an eye on us from a distance? Mrs. Hardcastle, if that's you, can you please make a noise?
I don't know if that was my chair or I didn't move.
Who's the angry gentleman that's pacing back and forth through here? What's his name? Oh. Right as I said that, I saw something just walk by the bedpost right
Felt a
there.
vibration on the floor. I'd be interested to see if that vibration went off.
I wasn't paying attention. Sir, if you're here and you can hear us right now, could you please come forward and talk to us?
Before we even got set up, we were seeing shadow figures through each door frame. They would almost be peeking into the room or crawling underneath from door frame to door frame. And me and Mike were both seeing them out the corner of our eyes, and even when we were looking straight at the door frames.
A few days before this investigation took place, I called David to discuss how we wanted to approach this, and he told me that he had this dream about a man that was sitting on the end of the bed in the step-down room that connects to the cigar lounge, and he was watching us conduct an Estus method in the cigar lounge. Initially setting up for this shot, I actually misheard him, and I thought that the Estus was supposed to take place in the bedroom. Once he clarified, I thought, what if I set up here and try to conduct the Estus just to see if whoever was sitting here in your dream may come through? This one was just different. I don't know. Whoever or whatever was talking to me through that spirit box that night did not sound happy that we were there.
can speak through mic, answer any of the questions.
Better not. Ask Jacob.
Do you have any questions for me?
Alright, I'm close to them.
Who are you close to?
I'm trying to speak. Heathen.
Well,
There's trouble. Better get out.
Why do you want us out? You've been so good to us the rest of the time. You've been communicating.
It will get bad if you stay here.
I had a dream about you about a week ago.
Outside. Something just touched me on the leg. We fought to stay here. Nothing was worth dying for.
Who did you have to fight? Are you talking about there's a Native American?
You'll see a lot more. Okay? Listen up. This is not a f***ing game. You understand?
I'm trying to understand. Sounds like there was a big clash here.
I need you to go out back.
Out back? Out back where?
My car. Right here.
To your car?
Mike.
Talking about Mike's car?
It's not like it said something about you're my only hope to get out. Soul.
Are you in here with me?
I don't know. That was really clear that I don't know.
Where are you at? If you don't know where you're at?
In the truck? Or in the trunk? Name's Tyler.
Tyler.
Hello. I didn't know you could hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
My stomach, man. I'm feeling like really nauseous since we came in here.
Is that you making Mike feel like that?
Are you okay?
Are you speaking directly to Mike? He can't hear you right now, but unless you speak it through that radio.
John and Deb are screwed. Why are you talking to them? Stop. They're bad people. No, they're not.
Do you know Lisa and Bob?
This contraption, is it safe?
Yes, all of the things that we have here are safe. They won't hurt you, I promise.
I like colorful. Dude, it feels like somebody is like right here next to me. It's kind of messing with me.
I had a dream that there was someone sitting at the edge of that bed.
This is my house. I can feel the floor vibrating. I'm gonna come upstairs. I'm gonna find out. 70.
Can you tell us your name?
Yeah, I can't do this. Like, I don't know if you can hear what it sounds like from in there, but it's scaring me, dude.
Yeah,
like, it's freaking me out.
I don't know what it was about tonight. I don't know if maybe I just hadn't had enough sleep or if the energy in the house was different, but I didn't feel comfortable continuing that Estus. The sounds that the spirit box was producing are just... It was pure nightmare fuel. I had to cut it short. David and I eventually swapped, and we just decided to set up the way that David had his original dream. So David had this dream that we were sitting in this room, somebody was sitting on the edge of that bed, watching us conduct this Estus session. Does that dream have any sort of significant meaning?
Mitch. I'm not talking.
Who is Mitch?
You're gonna have to try harder.
Is Mitch here?
Mike.
I'm trying the best that I can. I'm not going to force you to talk or do anything you don't want to do.
Competitive.
You're free to come forward and talk as much as you want or as little as you want. I'm not here to force you to do anything. I just want to talk. I want to learn about you. The whole tone in there shifted once I went
You
under.
can't understand words.
It sounded as if you were right
Our
on top
words.
of me.
Heads up. Hands up, maybe?
Do you know who David is? Have you met him before?
It sounded like a psst.
He said he's been here a lot. He used to come here a lot when this was an abandoned home.
On the wall. Downstairs.
What's on the wall downstairs?
The clock.
What about it? Did that belong to you?
It's been here forever.
Yeah?
Just got really like dizzy, like really lightheaded.
Do you feel some sort of significant connection to that clock? Maybe it belonged to you. Maybe it was a gift.
It's our room. Here one comes. I'm getting like really dizzy.
Where are you? Are you in this room with us right now? Are you talking through David?
Draining.
Please don't drain David. If you drain him, you're not going to be able to talk. So take it easy on him, please. This house is with me, man. I keep seeing stuff like everywhere I look.
Louder. You need
What?
to make sense of it.
Make sense of what?
How long we've been here.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, but I need your help. You're doing a really good job talking through David.
Whoa. That was weird. There's like a exhale of breath. It's bad news.
What's bad news?
Holding. That's something. Sound like a scream. David. That was a weird voice too. Get up.
What happened here?
Hi.
Hi.
Something about everything.
Whoever said hi, could you come forward and talk to me a little bit? I'm trying to figure some stuff out here, but it doesn't seem like anybody wants to cooperate.
This is so cool.
This is really cool.
You like it too?
I noticed that we were swapping batteries a lot more often this investigation. I know power drainage is obviously a thing that can occur while you're doing this stuff, but it isn't really as common for us as you would think. Usually in between shots, I like to swap out the light batteries and the camera batteries and just plug in the old ones. Every scene that's set up always has fresh batteries. We were maybe 10 minutes into this shot and the lights started to die. It dimmed. I got up to replace that battery and I don't know what that did, but it brought something out.
Oh, you're touching
We're
the light
excited.
bulb now. Awesome. Thank you for that. Can you keep touching that light?
The furnishing.
Oh, nice. Whoa. I don't know if that's me from sitting down. We'll see in a moment. That is not me. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Can you bring up the other colors?
David's from here.
David is from here. He was pretty close by. I'm not.
When he was little, he was here. What was that?
I don't know. You tell me. So you do remember David?
David.
Yeah, this is David. He's all grown up now. It's kind of crazy seeing him after all this time, huh?
He's alright.
I like David a lot. I see you're having fun with the rent.
Something about the axe house.
What?
It's bad.
Yeah, it is. It's a bad place. Terrible things happen there. What do you know about it?
The next location.
Did I see you just now?
Yeah.
I mean, it was like so clear. It looked like
That's a yes.
smoke, or I don't even know how to describe it.
Someone else saw you too.
Who? Who else is in here? Who can see me? Do you have anything else you'd like to say to us before I pull David out? Any last messages or final words? Maybe something David missed earlier. Do you want to repeat that?
David's in trouble.
What's he in trouble for? What do you do?
He's out
What are you talking about?
Air. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Each time?
What's your fixation with David?
David is in there.
Is there a David here? Another David besides this David?
He's good. Nah.
So you're talking about
Incision.
this David. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pull him. Thank you.
I just saw a light on the inside of this blindfold.
When I went under in the Estus method, I could almost feel what Mike was feeling in the next room. It definitely was a little uncomfortable. And there was at one point where I even started to get dizzy and very lightheaded. I felt like I was spinning. At one point in the Estus method, I received something saying draining. At the time, Mike had responded by saying, please don't drain David. We need me for the rest of the night, of course. Then found out that, we had been experiencing battery issues throughout the night. And if you even watch right after I say that, it'll switch to Mike and then go back to me, and the EMF will be going up, and then all of a sudden it just cuts out. And we experienced that multiple times throughout the night.
We are getting close to the end of our night, and we sincerely appreciate everything so far.
You've been really great.
You've come through a lot more this trip than the last trip.
Is that you touching that yellow light? Or the green light over there, I mean?
I'm going to turn on this other light here that you can play with. So you really like these toys. You might set that off. Oh. Nope, it's not me. You like that toy too? Wow, it's funny.
Yeah. Made green and yellow on both of those.
Whoa. Are you doing that?
If you're doing that, can you touch that device? Okay.
That just spiked.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
It's really exciting that you're so eager to come out and talk to us now.
Yeah, just turn on.
I think it did. I didn't see it turn on.
We're 10 or 15 minutes into this shot, and now the EDI with fresh batteries is totally dead. I don't know if whoever is here is draining our equipment to be able to communicate with us, but I don't see our equipment die this often.
When we were upstairs earlier, apparently Mr. Hardcastle came through. Whoa. Like, the minute yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just died.
soon as I said his name. Is this Mr. Hardcastle? Is that who we're speaking with currently? Can you make that red light go off like that again if we're speaking to Mr. Hardcastle? Are we speaking to a member of the Hardcastle family? Maybe not Mr. Hardcastle, but just a member? Daughter, wife, son?
Maybe even one of the workers.
That thing's going nuts.
Yeah, it is. Have we got anything coming up?
A few upstairs,
little-
but like very minor.
Yeah.
Not like it is down here. Do you want to try to swap the batteries in the EDI again?
That's all right. Yeah.
I watched David put fresh batteries in the EDI while we're still shooting that scene, and in a matter of minutes, it's dead again. That thing's spiking up pretty high, pretty consistently. Yeah. Is Mr. Hardcastle here? Can we speak with him?
We're watching. We'll watch.
Spent the yellow on this one. Yes. Do you have anything else you'd like to say to us before we turn this off? I really appreciate having the opportunity to explore these different Maryland haunts. It's such a historically rich state that has so much to offer, so many stories that can be shared to the world, and having the opportunity to investigate Castle Hall Mansion was amazing. Bob and Lisa are incredibly hospitable people who open their home up to us and allow us to investigate the claims of paranormal activity that they supposedly have experienced. And I don't see this being the last time that we come here. There's a lot to unpack with this. Even though this is our second trip here, this is the first investigation where we've really started to uncover some pieces regarding the history of this place. It was very interesting to go back and hear Mr. Hardcastle come through, and the times that he would respond, they were very strong responses. And it just seemed like his energy came through much more clearly than the rest of the residents of that home. I feel like he really did make himself known tonight. Nothing there feels too threatening. I still don't know about the ritual stuff. I don't know what condition this property was in or what it had experienced while it was abandoned. So I can't say for certain, but there is a lot to unpack here, and I'm very excited to come back to Castle Hall eventually and speak with the Hardcastle family more.
Castle Hall Mansion really has a special place in my heart. I hope some of what we caught actually confirms some of the things that Bob and Lisa have experienced or heard of themselves, and I really can't wait to come back. Bob and Lisa are taking great care of it. Glad that they invited us to come out and investigate.